56, a helping hand with your land.
Neil from Essex here with an Alamo TRAXX RC56 radio controlled mower. The RC56 in this case stands for the ROBO Cutter 56. This is a really cool piece of equipment. Has a power unit here with tracks on it and a whole variety of attachments that can go out in front of this machine. Made for some of those really unique applications where you need to be able to get a machine into a place that you just can't operate a traditional piece of equipment safely. Come along with me here today. I'm going to walk you around this unit, show you how it runs, and kind of take an interesting look at a really cool piece of technology. Well, we traditionally sold these things as flail setup machines like this one is right here for highway mowing and that kind of thing. Reality is that's not actually how this whole setup is built. This really is made to be a rather flexible tractor unit that can accept a whole variety of attachments and stuff out the front. And so for that reason, this is actually a fairly versatile machine. It's not kind of a single purpose-built unit. Underneath the side shields of this is a diesel engine from a company called Hatz, a German manufacturer. And it's a particularly special diesel unit that's made to be able to run on slope sides where it's going to stay properly lubricated. This one's a 56 horsepower unit. They also offer a smaller one and a larger 74 horse machine as well, so it comes in 3 different sizes. Out the front, you're gonna have several hydraulic fittings. In this case, we're gonna have one that runs the flail itself, another one to open up this front shield, and an auxiliary set down here too. The front attachments have a unique coupler here on the front that allows them to pivot independently of the machine. So this really is a power unit that can accept that whole host of couplers out the front. See over here on the side, in addition to my radio controlled piece that I have here with, I'll go through the different functions. This is a really cool thing. I've also got a nice touchscreen display here on the side. So I want to turn this thing on. I've got a button over here to push that turns on this nice little color screen. Can get a whole lot of diagnostic information, and we go through and kind of approve that we know what we're doing. Hit a power button in order to turn it on. And I would love if my tractor had a power button like this. I love this kind of technology. I can do literally everything using the controller here. This thing goes and belts around your waist. It's kind of nice, instead of it going over top of your neck, it doesn't pull too hard on you. I can sit down here at the side and push a little power button here in order to turn it on. And then I've got my starter right there in order to start the machine up. All of my other controls and everything are either here across the front or on the side. So my throttle is right down here in the side. I can rev the machine up. And my little LCD display here reports my engine RPMs. Once it's up and going, I can flip this switch here either front or back in order to change the direction of that flail head. So I can flip it forward here and you'll hear the machine beep, and then slowly bring that flail up the speed. I've got a 2-speed control for the track, so I can either have a high or a low speed for my drive. And that high is quick. It's a brisk walk when you're driving it high. Because these are typically working in these grassy type applications, this machine actually has a reversing fan on it to keep it cool. That's a feature that's really only found on a very few of our pieces of equipment that are working in, say, chicken houses and that kind of stuff. But by tapping that front, you hear that engine tone change. That's engaging a reversing fan there on the radiator to blow the chaff and stuff off. This switch right here is going to operate my auxiliaries. I've got a speed control over here for the speed of my flails, and then this which is going to adjust my left-right creep. These 2 big joysticks here in the front are going to be what you use for your driving. Personally, I wish these were configurable. They're front and back here in order to drive the machine front and back, and left and right in order to steer left and right. If it were up to me, I'd have all of my drive functions on one stick, but these are how these are set up. Beyond that then, so my left and right here is going to open and close my safety shield here in the front of the machine. If you're going into, say, high brush, you can open that up so you can grind into it. Or if you're going to be doing grasses and stuff, you can keep it closed so you don't throw debris. And then in addition to that, you can push this up and down on this side in order to move the head up and down. So literally all the functions of this machine can be operated from 500 feet away, completely using this, doing as much as even starting the thing up, shutting it off, whatever you need to do. So as far as hillside stability goes, This thing's pretty incredible. Your hillside tracking options as far as the slope goes depends on the kind of tracks that you have. This has the most aggressive ones on them. They have metal bars on them so they can really bite. This can go up onto a 55-degree slope and actually operate there, like turn around all directions, drive back and forth, and do the work that it needs to do. The documentation says it has a safety cutoff alarm at a 70-degree slope. So that's going to tell you that, at least for safety's sake, if you get into a surprising situation, it should be able to go that far and actually not roll over. Now, obviously, you're not going to want to do that, but it has an impressive amount of hillside stability. I'm standing right beside the machine here as we're learning to use it, but this controller is good for up to 500 feet away from the machine. Every one of us can probably sit and picture the scenario of sitting on our front porch with a finish mower on the front of this, which they do make, and cutting our grass. You notice the little receiver up here on the top of the machine? This little antenna is going to talk to the remote controller that I have here, giving us basically 500 feet of range. But they put more technology in this yet too. There's actually a system from Trimble that's available for this thing that will allow it to go out and work autonomously. You can go out and strike a line and define some boundaries. This is things that we're very used to doing with Trimble equipment on the agricultural side. Gotten to define a boundary line around the outside of the area that you want to mow. Take another boundary line and go and mark off any potential obstacles where you want it to avoid. And then using RTK technology that's going to give this thing sub-inch accuracy of its position within that area, it will go out and actually mow the area for you. So not only could you sit on your porch with this awesome controller, you could actually just simply monitor the thing as it goes out and it works through that area and mows down the brush that you have for it to do. It is amazing to see some of the specialty equipment that comes to our dealership. It leaves me in awe of the skill set of our guys in sales and service and parts to be able to go through and properly sell and service some of this just a wild equipment, something you certainly don't see everywhere. We've got a handful of these things out there, believe it or not, often with municipal customers, with guys that are out doing highway mowing, fish and game commissions, that kind of stuff, where you have just challenging places to maintain that you can't do with a regular piece of equipment. And like I said, while we have this set up here with a flail, there are finish mowers and snow blowers, about a dozen different attachments that you can put on the front of this machine, depending on the attachment that you need in order to take care of that tricky application. So if you have one of those scenarios where you have work to do that you just simply can't get a traditional piece of equipment, we here at Messick's would be glad to help and talk to you about an Alamo TRAXX RC unit. You can give us a call at 800-222-3373 or online at messicks.com.